There we go.
Perfect.
Welcome,
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, to
Welcome to the podcast.
something. I don't know what it is, but who fucking cares? Of the Brewcast. And today we're doing a bit of a different video than the regular fitness stuff, because every now and then, you guys may have noticed on the channel, we upload videos that are more to do with some of the, we say, social or political things going on in society.
Yeah.
And today we're going to do a quiz on Buzzfeed. Now, the quiz is a couple of years old, but I think it'll be funny to just go through it and kind of see what we think, because it's called How Much of a Feminist Are You?
And we have some absolutely fucking fantastic questions lined up. And as you know, I mean, here at the Brewcast, between the both of us, especially if you watch the intro, you know that we are full woke. We are full woke. We're completely as fucking progressive as it comes between the both of us. So this is going to be absolutely fantastic.
Anyway, I just want to say something from the get-go. I'm going to attempt to not swear in this video because I tend to do it way too much. So that's going to be something. But something might slip up if I screw up by accident. But I'm going to attempt to not do it. But I think we need to get started. Talk when you on that website, bro.
I'm on the website. I've got the checklist right in front of me, and I'm ready.
Give me 1 second, quickly. Okay. There we go. Okay. Well, so you guys will see an overlay on the screen, and we can kind of go through these. So, check all that apply. I would be willing to give up some of my salary if I had to, so that equal pay in my workplace could be a reality.
Just gonna leave that out.
Okay. Do we give reasons? Reason because the gender pay gap isn't exactly doesn't have much of a scientific or mathematical basis.
Yeah. I must say, if we have to, like, it's funny that you're explaining, but I just think, like, if we had to explain every single thing, we'd literally be here for fucking
I believe that men and women should be equal. Well,
gonna leave that out.
That depends. What do you mean by they should be equal? I'm going to tick it because I'm going to presume that they're trying to be sincere. So I'm going to tick it and say, yeah, sure. If we're talking in terms of rights and opportunities, sure, 100%. I support that.
Okay, maybe.
I don't know. You take your pick, but I want to hear what you said. So
I'll click it. Yeah, I'll click it as well.
You don't have to be peer pressured into it by me. You can pick what you want. I'm not judging.
The problem is that I think in the context of what they mean, I probably don't support it.
Yeah, but let's you don't have to assume they're being sincere, but I assume they're being sincere.
Exactly. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's click it. Considering there are going to be so many other things ahead. Okay.
Number 3. Oh, by the way, we're two cisgender white men who are sitting in this room with privilege. So
yeah, exactly.
We are completely blind to any sort of science or logic.
Dude, I don't know about you, but I fucking I watched the Emma Watson speech and I just started crying.
Clearly,
the fucking Also,
I felt called upon to do more for my community.
I read fucking white fragility, and I couldn't deal with it. I burst into tears.
Really, you realize you're a terrible human being.
It was the most moving book I've ever read in my life.
But I think we need to keep going because we're gonna get stuck here. I can't help but be bothered when a song includes misogynistic lyrics, even when I otherwise like the song. I don't really care.
Don't really care.
Okay.
Honestly, every time just hear, how many times have you heard of mumble rap song? It's just like you just hear whatever, it'll be like the female rap or something. The opening line will just be like my pussy, and you just take your headphones off.
Yeah, okay. Well, I just don't much care because I think you should be able to, generally speaking, say what you want. But anyway, that's just me. I know who Bell Hooks is. I've heard the name before, but I can't remember exactly who it is. But I'm going to tick it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about you, Tarquin? Do you know who Bell Hooks is?
I do not know who Bell Hooks is.
I can define intersectional feminism. Yes, I can define it. That doesn't mean I think it's a good doctrine, but yes, I can define it. What do you reckon, Tarquin? You can define it.
Well, It depends. I mean, I don't. I know that intersectional feminism is synonymous for something. I don't know if it's necessarily synonymous for third wave. You know,
Well, no. Intersectional
not really.
feminism is like is like their whole thing about like if you're a, a white woman, then you're oppressed because you're a woman. But if you're a black woman, then you're oppressed because you're black and because you're a woman. So you have it twice as bad. You get what I'm saying? It's like,
Yes. Okay, no.
and
I,
then
I
if
I know
you're black,
exactly
a
what you mean.
woman, and trans, then you're basically fucked. So, oh shucks, I'm not
Yes.
supposed to swear. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna.
Uh, uh,
Yeah.
Ruben failed on the one. Wait, hold on. One, two, three, four. You failed on the fifth question,
Okay.
dude.
Well,
We've
I'm
got
trying
fifth.
not to swear. So, but that's essentially what intersection feminism is. Anyway,
Yeah, well, you know what?
next.
You know what? I'm not savvy with fucking definitions on this bullshit, but I know exactly what it is. So yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
I'll take that.
Good thing. Okay. I don't use the phrase "Hey guys" when referring to a group of people that includes men and women. No, I use the phrase
Oh,
"Hey
I
guys."
do. I do.
I
Hey
don't see how
guys.
that's a problem, but okay.
I know feminists that say, "Hey guys." So
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, well, but anyway, come speak for yourself here, Tarquin.
Yeah, yeah.
we're not gonna be mean in this video, guys. If you,
For sure, for sure.
um,
Oh, I
yeah.
have taken a woman's and or gender studies class. Firstly, this is such bullshit because what happens if you don't fucking go to university or you actually go to a real school?
No, actually, you do get them. Okay,
Jesus.
well, I've taken one. I had one before university, and then I had to take a couple of them at university to teach me that I'm
Mm.
apparently a rapist. So,
Oh, Jesus. You had to take them? They were compulsory?
well, no, but I went to go see what they were spewing, and essentially they had us sit in a circle and define lots of words that are made up. They weren't
Oh,
pronouns, by the way. They were like all these words like a cis cisgender normativity and stuff like that. You know, all the
oh,
postmodernist
basically
postmodernist
life.
mumbo jumbo stuff. Funny enough, I
Is
won.
this, yeah.
We had a landslide victory because I knew the definition of every single term, even though that I know that 90% of those terms are complete crap. But anyway,
Ridiculous.
uh,
Sorry, I just love our cisgendered normativity is basically just life. Like that's literally what it is. Like
no. But look. What
no,
they say is that
since
like
like since the evolution.
if you're a cisgendered person, then you're like oppressing someone who's not just because you're you know. It's like
Because society
look,
revolves
guys.
around the fact
Well,
that it's
look, guys. Most people are not transgender, so I don't get the. Anyway, I'm not going to get into arguments here. Let's
yeah,
just see.
anyway.
Maybe at the end we'll comment a little bit. I think it's
Okay.
important to encourage girls to pursue science and math as a career. Um,
I'm
what
gonna
do you?
go. You know what? I'm gonna go no because I'm gonna actually pull the ultimate feminist on them, and I'm gonna say that girls can do whatever the fuck they want, and that they don't need to be
I'm
encouraged
going to
to do
agree,
anything.
100%. I
Take
would,
that, third wave fucking.
I would encourage girls to do what they want to do. I wouldn't pressure them to go into science or maths. Isn't
But
that
maths,
oppression
that's
in its
fucking
purest
yeah,
form?
such
Um,
exactly. Why would you want to influence it? Isn't it all about fucking women being able to do whatever they want to do? So fuck that. Women should be
women,
allowed to
yeah, you
apply
read.
for a job if they fulfill 60% of the job requirements. Well, the thing is that I mean, that's skewed because 60% of the job requirements, as opposed to I thought if you applied for a job, you had to fill in 100% of the job requirements. Like, I mean, if you
You know what?
fucking
You know
if
what?
you
I'm
apply
gonna
to
go.
be
I
an
don't know if you know
engineer,
daring, but I'm gonna go with him on this one. You can
yeah,
apply. It doesn't mean you should get it. So I'm gonna take it.
yeah.
You can apply.
Uh,
It doesn't mean that you're gonna get the job.
it's like how if you are fucking, you know, applying to fucking if you're applying for a particular job orientated around law and the fucking job that you want is criminal law and you've studied everything but criminal law, you could be like 90% on the way through and it's like, just fucking bring him in, he's close enough. You know what I mean? He's close
Yeah.
enough.
Well,
He's
no,
fucking close
yeah.
enough.
He's a woman. Haha. Joke.
Oh,
Well,
Jesus.
anyway, no,
I,
I'm gonna say you can apply. It doesn't mean you're gonna get it. So I take it anyway.
I
Uh,
think we should change women's bathroom symbols to not include traditionally feminine clothing. Okay, but then what do you want to train? What do you want to? Because you would think that if you want to showcase a female, you would use the characteristics of that which is female. And I know they're going to say, well, why are you using that? But it's like, okay, Yeah, okay, cool. We'll use your fucking dumpy ass art
I have
emojis instead. I guess I'll know
I have
exactly
a
what
problem.
you're talking
So my question is, if we don't have the symbols, how are they supposed to know that it's a man or woman's bathroom? Now the answer is write out the words male or female. But guess what? That's not okay either,
about. Yeah,
because
the next
now being
question
male
is
or
just
female
about to
doesn't
fuck us
mean you
off.
should go into the bathroom. If you're a big burly dude who says you're a chick, you get to go to the woman's bathroom. So that's going to be
Okay.
discriminatory too. So I can't tick the box. I'm sorry. I like things the way they are.
Sure.
Um,
Which leads us into the next question. I believe that trans people should be able to use whichever bathroom they identify with. Well, the problem is that I mean the category for trans these days is like, I mean, considering it's a fucking spectrum, I could identify as a woman right now, which is like, it's so funny because I mean, you know, ideologically they spew all this bullshit, but like if I just straight up identified as a woman and fucking walked into the woman's bathroom and just hung out there at a club, like they'd kick me out in like a few fucking seconds. It's like
Yeah,
what they
because
spew
because
ideologically and what they actually
because
believe is so.
Tarquin, you're not a woman. The only reason you do that is because you're a pedophile. Now, listen to me right now. That's going to get taken out of context. I promise you that if someone sees this. I'm not saying that
Yeah,
trans people are
exactly.
pedophiles. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. Actually, I actually think that I think if you want to be transgender, you should be able to do that, right? I've got no problem with people doing what they want. That's my stance. I just don't expect, I don't expect a woman and her daughter to feel comfortable in the bathroom when there's a big burly dude who claims he's a chick. So what I'm going to say is this. I think if you can pass and you look like a woman, I think it's fine.
Well, but then
But
you
just
wouldn't
because
know.
you say you
You,
want it doesn't
that's
mean
not
you go
even
into the female's bathroom. That's
okay.
what
But
I'm going.
that I mean, but that doesn't even make a difference because if you look like a chick, then you'll just walk in there and no one's going to ask you any questions. But
Well, exactly. That's my point.
the fact that people would ask you questions, even if they believed all this bullshit, is another confirmation for the you know evil, oppressive heteronormativity that our fucking
Well,
society is.
buddy, I
But
don't
anyway,
much care about the heteronormativity. What I care about is practically if this works or if it doesn't work. And practically letting a big burly dude going to a woman's bathroom is not going to work. But if he looks like a chick, it'll probably be okay.
can I just argue that the statement was out of context and say that trans people don't work? And then just like later on when someone quotes me on it, I'll just be like, no, it was wildly out of context. I meant to say something else. Anyway,
Yeah.
next
Well,
question. I believe it's important to encourage women to negotiate. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I think yeah, actually, I would say this is really important simply because women statistically are more agreeable than men. And so
Okay, stop quoting Jordan Peterson. We'll go on to the next question.
no, we have to
I
do,
believe
I have to
Jennifer
do this.
Lawrence should earn as
Shut
much
up,
as her
Tucker.
male
But
Dude, we already know.
I
We
know, no, but I
already
have to
know the
say it
fucking
because I want
story.
to trigger someone.
Oh god.
Women. No, I'm doing this because it's going to piss someone off who sees it.
It's all right,
Women,
dude. You have leeway. Floor's yours.
statistically, are more agreeable. So if you encourage them to negotiate, it'll most likely help them. And yes, I got that from Jordan Peterson, but it is true. Thank you. Next question. Talk with.
I just knew you buzzed up the moment. Like I knew the moment we're just going to open up. It's fine. I read 12 Rules for Life. Very good book. I believe Jennifer Lawrence should earn as much as her male co-stars. Well, depends fucking who.
I would,
no, I'm not
to
going
be
to.
honest, being Jennifer Lawrence, and I'm going to go, there was a guy on Buzzfeed who did this quiz who said he thinks she probably earns more.
Oh, really?
Which is a good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
Yeah.
it depends. What are you judging this by? Are they as famous? Is she as famous as they are? Are they as famous as she is? Are they as good? Is she as good of an actor? Are they as good of an actor? Like I can't answer the question because I don't really know what they're asking. They're not really asking a good like an actual question. It's kind of just a statement.
I do not believe that a movie, or I do not think a movie should be released unless it passes the Bechdel test.
No.
And right now, I'm going
Nope.
to look up what the Bechdel test is.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, and we can Google it soon because it's funny. It's essentially an SJW test that it has to pass. What does the best Bechdel test tell us? Bechdel test. The test is named after American cartoonist Alison Bechdel. The Bechdel test, also known as the Bechdel-Wallace test, is a measure of the representation of women in fiction. It asks whether a work features at least 2 women who talk to each other about something other than a man. How's that?
Oh,
Fuck
Jesus.
you. Sorry, I'm
Well, the
swearing.
thing is, okay, I'm gonna sorry, we need to play a game of mental gymnastics, and we need to play a game of mental gymnastics because of all the bullshit terminology, essentially fiction, that has become so prevalent in our lives in the past 5 years. If we are going to have a Bechdel test, which the following question says all genders entitled, so we're going that it's on a spectrum. How do you quantify the amount of representation that we actually need to really be completely inclusive? Because looking at a 50-50 split, that isn't real anymore. That isn't actually
apparently it's not binary.
well, apparent. Yeah, exactly. Looking at a 50-50 split, that isn't like that would be, again, heteronormativity. So I'm going to say that the Bechdel test is actually it was a nice idea, but it's really just an outdated heteronormative form of equal representation. And we need to look at this infinite spectrum.
And it's abusive
Exactly.
towards transgender people and black people and my other
Oh,
minority
and
groups, because it
even
excludes them from consideration because
and
it's only
all the
about white
fucking
women. You
yeah, exactly. And
oppressive assholes who wrote this test.
all the
You should
fucking
be
obviously
ashamed of yourself.
all the pansexuals, all the fucking
Yeah,
all the
you've
attack
excluded
all the
everyone except
attack
women.
helicopters, everyone else.
This
Right,
is
next.
cisgender normativity right here.
I know, I can't even, you know what, Ruben, I can't even. This test is actually so toxic. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even want to do it. But anyway, I believe all genders are entitled to the same social and political rights.
I
Yeah,
mean,
just
I
gonna
don't
leave
know
that
what you
out.
mean when you say
I can
say social
explain.
right or political right. If you say
Mm,
political right, do you mean right to vote? Like, yeah, 100%. But what do you mean
mm,
social right?
yeah. Well,
It's like,
actually, I mean, I think the thing is that I think that considering we've seen the success of things like BEE and aggressive affirmative action, and
oh,
I think for
clearly,
the
it's
next
very successful,
for the
by the way.
next 50, yeah, for the next 50 years, I've been thinking only black transgender women should vote.
Yeah,
That's the only
only
way
them.
we're gonna. That's the only,
No
only
white
them.
people. We're
No,
not
only
worthy.
then. That's the
We're
only way
subclass
that we're
citizens.
actually
We don't get.
gonna.
We don't
That's the
get it.
only way that we're actually gonna switch this around.
Yeah.
Is like the thing is that I mean, considering for 40,000 years, it's basically been us in terms of the planet, right? I
Yeah. It's been
mean,
the
in
white
terms
man.
of
It's
like
always been the
fucking
white man, dude.
exactly. In terms of like making the castles, fucking inventing the wheel, fucking, you know what I mean? All of that bullshit. Although I've actually been watching some African Israelitism, and it turns out we didn't do any of that. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. It turns out that was it all comes out of Africa. It's really deep, dude. You don't understand it. But anyway,
Yes.
like white
We're
people
all
we only
Africans,
stole
actually.
we only stole shit in the past 300 years. You're not caught up. But anyway, the point being is to reverse this, essentially, I'm only gonna be letting, yeah, black transgender women and disabled ones. We're only gonna be letting them vote in the next
Yeah.
few years.
Only
And at
them.
least 10 years of voting like that, it'll pan out the whole thing. I can explain why
Yeah.
78 cents to the dollar is not a fully accurate description of the wage gap. Well,
Yes, I can.
because I can explain why
This
it's
is,
fucking wrong.
I agree. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I'm not going to make a joke
yeah.
out of this one. I can 100% explain why it's not an accurate description of the gender wage gap thing.
Yeah, exactly. They probably think that we're gonna say it's like fucking worse, and we're just gonna say
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah.
normal.
Well, that's the question. I said I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. So, um,
Exactly.
well,
I
actually, yeah. Just for 1 second on the social and political rights, just one thing, because I get your point, but I want to I want to ask something. Is a social right the is it supposedly the way that society treats you, or
mm,
is a social right because I don't quite get what that means.
yeah.
And I think it's important, so I'm going to Google it. Social right. Let's see. What's the definition of a social right? A socio-economic. No, hang on. Right to education, housing. No, but that's fine. Okay, adequate standard of. Okay, so if we're talking things like that, then you know what? I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt and just take it, even though I'm not exactly sure what they mean, because I'm going to assume that they're being sincere.
Yeah, it's probably how
It's probably bullshit, but I mean, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, it's a strange one
You
to
don't
define.
have to, but I'm going to.
I believe that women who possess certain types of privilege are responsible for advocating for women who don't have their level of privilege.
No. I'm going to say no, because you're not responsible for advocating for anyone. Well, except maybe I would argue you're responsible for advocating for your children, but you're not responsible for advocating for anyone else. If you choose to do it, then I would say it's probably a good thing, but you're not responsible, so I'm not taking it.
Trigger warning, I'm about to use an evil word. I think that the word privilege has been so raped out of context, because the thing is that privilege is essentially, in the 21st century, privilege is just position on a hierarchy. You could have, of course, the idea is that you were born with it, but essentially you could have ascended there, but they'll still kind of call it a privilege. So I would say that to some degree, from an I don't know, actually. It's a strange one. Because there's a deeper analysis of that, and that's like, should the interests of somebody in authoritative power be something which everyone else looks up towards or has their interests in common? And to that degree, I'd say yes, because that's where I'm mostly sort of, I can agree with capitalism like some degree, but I don't like just vacant materialism where it's like everyone essentially has their own interests that are completely uninfluenced by any kind of higher ideal or certain spirituality or something.
Well, I wouldn't
like
say
that.
that's a
To me, I
consequence
find
of
that
capitalism, but okay.
well, I mean, capitalism will certainly, in a free market, I think it's absolutely fine. But I do think that the one after result is that your entire economy, like if you, in the past 100 years, people are far more materialistically inclined than ever before.
Yeah.
I don't
But
think that's a direct.
I would put that to some extent to the feet of a couple of things. One of them probably being the doing away very largely of religion. Actually, I think is probably one of the big reasons.
But that's
for that.
what I'm. That's exactly what I mean. So I'm not critiquing a free market. We're not going to play that game of, well, if I buy an apple from you, have you oppressed me? Because I agree with all of that. But the point which I'm predominantly making is we will say just materialism in general. And what I will say is that sometimes I do think that it would be healthier to have a society in which people of competence and people of higher up in the authority, there was some kind of value system in common. Does that make any sense?
100%.
Yeah.
But I don't think they should be legally obligated to do something like that. For
sure.
When they say responsibility, that's what I think. If they're talking about social responsibility, even then, I don't know. I agree with you, but I'm going to err on the side of caution and say no, because I don't think it should be enforced. I think it should. I think it's probably a good thing, but I don't think it should be enforced. That's
it's like, dude, I mean, there's this picture of fucking Hillary Clinton. I shared it on my Facebook, and she's walking into. The caption is just like the face of Hillary Clinton walking into the house of like an average working class house, and you can see it's just like a normal house, but like she's looking around like she's astounded, like she's fucking not like disgusted, but like, you know what it'd be like if you brought the queen into your home, you can imagine she wouldn't be like fucking, or any like major fucking high level like fucking celebrity or someone who's used to that luxurious life. You just like brought them into your home. You can imagine for most of them, you can imagine what their faces would look like. Yeah. And it's like, that's the kind of level of delusional disconnect that exists.
Sure.
So,
but I think we need to get on with the quiz though, because we're gonna be a
if I had a daughter, I would encourage her to be anything she wanted to be. No,
sure.
I wouldn't encourage her to be a murderer. I wouldn't encourage her to fucking. I would fundamentally encourage her to be, more culturally inclined.
We'll talk when I'm gonna assume that they're being sincere and say I think they're talking about career wise, and for that reason I'm gonna take it and say yeah, career wise I'll probably like if she wants to do something, that's what she wants to do. Now I may have some advice for her. For example, there are things, yeah, like you have said, there's certain things I wouldn't encourage her to be or to do. For example, if she's 4 years old and she tells me she thinks she's a boy, I sure as shit I'm not going to give her hormone replacement therapy because that's child abuse and horrifying thing to do to a kid. I will not do that. I will not encourage her to be that. But in terms of a career, 100%, I'll encourage her. I'll encourage her to become whatever she wants to become career-wise.
Well, but I mean, and when she says to you, "But Dad, sex work is real work," and you just watch like a string of just like seven fucking massive Haitian dudes just leaving a room.
You know that's not what
like
I'm
she walks home,
about
you
when
come
I
home,
say work,
you're finishing, you know, you're 54 years old, you're finishing your fucking high volume overhead press because, you know, you're still doing that shit, except you had like 3 hernias along the way, so it's taken a long time. But anyway, and your daughter comes back and she swishes over her pink hair and she says, "Dad, you know, like ribbon." She looks over and then you come over and then you're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And you just see like a train of like, it's like Somalian dudes, there's some Haitians, there are like a few like weird like Indian dudes along the way. And like she turns over and she's like, she just looks at you dead in the eye and she just goes, "Sex work is real work. What do you do?"
Well, I firstly bend her over and give her a fat hiding. No, I'm kidding, because that's illegal. I can't do that. Ha ha ha. No, I will explain to her why that was not a very good decision to make. Let me put it that way, since we have to not say bad things on the internet. Look, there's a good couple of things I'm gonna encourage her to do. For example, I'll encourage her to go to a university and study something. She can study whatever she wants. I probably don't want her doing humanities, to be honest with you, but if that's what she wants to do, that's what she wants to do. Anyway, not that there's anything wrong with going like doing humanities and then going into psychology or stuff like that, but you know, I don't exactly I don't mind her getting exposed to postmodernism as a theory and neo-Marxism as a theory, and I don't mind her reading Derrida and Foucault, but I don't like the indoctrination that tends to occur at universities nowadays.
What happened to the days when your kid didn't want to be an engineer and you just beat the shit out of him?
Oh god, no talk. Okay, I'm gonna read the next question. I would make it clear to my daughter from an early age that her identity should never be defined by her relationship status. Yes, 100%. I'm taking that.
Well, I don't know, because if you're a married woman, you're a wife, and you have a certain cultural obligation as a wife that I have a certain cultural obligation as a husband for our family and for the society around me.
Talk when you're getting very dangerously patriarchal here, bro.
No, I'm not being patriarchal. It's like pretty obvious. Like, I mean,
I know what you mean.
There are many examples. There are many examples legally.
I know, but
the thing is that it's the same. It's the same in marital status for, you know, like the same things which get taken away in moving on from my youth that it would for a wife. It would also happen to me as a husband.
Now, the culture nowadays, and legally too, doesn't really, for some stupid reason, value marriage as much as it did. It should, but it doesn't. So that's the one point. The other point is, again, I'm going to assume they're being sincere, and I wouldn't want my daughter to have her identity be wrapped up in whether she has a boyfriend or not. That's why I'm ticking it.
Oh, but that's trivial. I mean,
I know it, but again, I'm assuming they're being sincere. So, plus, I don't think these people who wrote this quiz can think very deeply. So, I am assuming that they're being
when it comes to marriage, I suppose that's different to. I know what they're saying. I mean,
because that's not a regular relationship, right? But I also, mean, if you don't want to tick it, don't tick it, bro. Don't do stuff because
how does your identity get defined by having a boyfriend?
Well, no, it's like that you identify as being taken as their identity becomes their relationship status. People who can't be single, who can't. It does happen. It's a relatively common thing.
So that's just over attachment issues. Okay.
It's kind of like that. I think that's what they're talking about. But anyway, I believe it's important to compliment a woman's intelligence over her looks.
Well, aren't we trying to like free up the sort of aren't we trying to free up the sort of you know, sexual degenerate fucking board game where it's, you know, it's really just about being more and more broadly sexual in public? Isn't that the whole goal of this thing? Long term is to be less
I wouldn't say I
professional.
think that's necessarily a good goal, but here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, I think it depends. Do I think do I think intelligence is more valuable than looks? I mean, it depends on the circumstances. Depends on your goal. If your goal is to become an engineer, having a higher IQ is probably better. If your goal is becoming a supermodel, then your looks are probably more important. So it's not always true that intelligence is more valuable than looks. Here's the thing. What if there's a woman who just happens, and it could be a man for that matter, who happens to have an IQ that's 100, but is gorgeous? Of course I'm going to compliment her looks over her intelligence because she is way more beautiful than she is intelligent. I'm not gonna. If a guy has a really good body and he works hard in the gym and he's in there, but he's not the brightest guy, I'm not gonna compliment him on his intelligence. I'm gonna compliment him, and vice versa. If someone is more intelligent than they are beautiful, I'll probably compliment them on their intelligence. I don't think this is a good thing. It's not more important. It depends on the situation.
Have you tested your IQ?
Yeah, but we're not going to go into that. They tested mine when I was like, they do IQ tests when you're a little kid, but it's not like a normal IQ test.
Okay, well then that means plus because you were a kid and it's
I was 4.
It's not what it's not.
You know what? I'll tell you afterwards what I scored.
You could have been retarded at that stage and be a genius by now, so we never know. But chances are you're probably just retarded. Okay, I believe that a woman has the right to choose what happens to her body. Well, they're talking about. Here's the funny thing: is that okay? Off the bat, we know they're talking about abortion, and the thing is that, and the thing which is so funny is that with the abortion debate, like, I mean, I'm actually on the fence on this one. Funnily enough, I'm not going to dip my toe in this because it gets really complicated. But what that whole debate is about is actually it's like a philosophical question, and it's saying what is life, and how do we define life? That is the question.
Is it valuable? That's another one.
Well, not really. Well, but yeah, that. But also just how do we define life? When do we define life? And so it becomes an incredibly fucking, you know, it becomes a very fucking philosophical question that people fundamentally like. Here's the thing: is that you need to argue for the sake of the fucking pro-lifers. And if you are pro-choice, you have to argue. You must understand. You have to argue along the argument that is a full human and a full consciousness in there, and you need to decide what do you value more. Yeah, you know. Well, obviously they're not going to argue that because that's not what they think. Yeah. But to stretch yourself.
I'll dip my toes into a little bit. Here's the thing. I've been on both sides of the fence before. And I've come to be a moderate on most things, actually. So here's what I think. I find abortion morally questionable. I don't think it should be illegal, though. And the reason is because the right tends to have the logic that it's a life, and we can't. And if you take the life, then it's murder. But legally, I don't like that argument. Well, at least not in South Africa, because if you take that argument in South Africa, then constitutionally speaking, it would also be illegal to have an abortion in cases of rape or incest, and it would technically be murder. I don't know if it's that way in other countries. In South Africa, works that way. That's why the Constitutional Court essentially ruled that abortion would be legal, would stay legal, because they made a piece of legislation that said it would, and then people opposed it, and they said, no, the legislation is fine constitutionally. That's the first issue. The second thing is, if you push it to the baby, the only other logical argument, I think, the other logical argument is we have to make it legal up to birth, and you see that more and more and more, or even after the baby's born. And then I'm like, okay, well then what's wrong with killing people what's wrong with killing your toddler, or what's wrong, because there's very little difference between when the baby is 9 months along the way and when he's outside of the womb, right? When he's just outside of the womb, there's not much difference there. And the only difference is location, essentially. It's a conscious thing, it's a living thing. So that I don't like. I've always said I don't think I think we need to address the problem differently, because abortion is already too late to make a legal decision. I think if you get to that, you had to fuck up a whole bunch of things along the way to get to that position where you have to choose to have an abortion, and there is no good option, right? I think at the moment the abortion laws are okay. It's like you can get an abortion up to 12 weeks without consent, from between 12 and 20 with the doctor's consent. Then over 20, you need multiple doctors. You can't just choose to do that. The only thing I don't like is that they have a clause in there for emotional damage, which is such an undefined term legally. It's such a that I have an issue with. But look, it's like, I don't know how to talk about it legally. I don't think we need to address the problem there. But anyway, that's me. I think, do you want to continue?
Look, I'll just say that if your child does calisthenics, you have full right to a late-term abortion. Moving on, in the instance of sexual assault against a female, I'm inclined to believe that the assaulted person is telling truth until proven otherwise. You know what? The reason why I'm going to agree with this is, and this isn't because I'm going to take action on it, but if someone tells me, I got beat up, I got assaulted, I got my house broken into, I would like to believe that I live in a culture where, for most cases, I think it's far more likely than they're telling the truth than not. However, the fact that there is a little bit more question about this when it comes to sexual assault is because, obviously, compared to theft, compared to murder, compared to arson, compared to looting, there is more of a strategy of using this for nefarious reasons. So, people have, it's their own fault that people do that, and they actually make it harder for actual victims of sexual assault. But I will take the question.
Yeah, for me, this is a difficult one, because it depends, one, on who it is. If it's my mum, of course I'm going to believe her at first, because I have a certain attachment to the individual. If it's someone on the street, I'd probably be less likely, because I don't know them. But here's the thing. I'm not going to ticket, because they don't specify, and this might be contradictory, because I'm saying I've always said I give them benefit of the doubt. But on this one, I can't, because here's the thing. I am inclined to believe the assaulted person, but I can't be. And it depends, because to help them and believe them is not the same thing. So I can be supportive and assisting without believing them until they've proved it, right? Well, until they've given good evidence. So it doesn't make me a lesser human being not believing them, because I can still do all the other things, right? But I can't ticket, because if I ticket, then I have to say that that means I'm inclined to believe the other person is guilty, and I don't like to do that. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm generally compassionate, so I will, and it's irrational, but I will simultaneously believe the assaulted person was assaulted and believe that the person who assaulted them didn't assault them. I will do both those things at the same time until I see more evidence. And so I can't take it, because it goes for both sides, because I assume both of them are telling the truth.
Until you actually look at the evidence.
Sound right. Until I know I have to mentally, because it keeps me sane.
Yes.
Okay, but that's me.
Which is that is actually a very good view to take as a lawyer, just being completely fucking. Most people don't. Most people wouldn't.
The thing is it doesn't mean I'm cut off or neutral. It means I support both of them in the ways that they need to be supported, until I can, beyond reasonable doubt, tell which one is telling the truth, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure.
It's and so yeah. Anyway, I can explain Marlene Dietrich's influence on women's fashion.
Can I ask you to do something? Can we?
Yeah.
Is there any chance that, because my battery is not too low but reasonably low, that we answer the rest of the questions and then we go back and talk about the most relevant ones? Because we're like 70% of the way through the test, so we just quickly answer them, go back,
Okay,
and then
cool.
talk about
I get
which
you.
one
Yeah,
is most.
let's do that.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
I can explain Marlene Dietrich's influence on women's fashion. No, I know what a bad feminist is. Hell yeah. Um, I believe that women should be able to dress however they want without it dictating how they are treated by society.
Disagree.
I want to come back to this one, but what do you think? Disagree.
Yeah, disagree with that. I have
Which
never said that a woman asked for it. I don't even know what that question means.
No, I wouldn't speak that way, so I'm going to tick it. I think they're talking in cases of like wife beating where you say the woman asked for it. That's what I'm assuming, and I've never said that because it's a stupid.
Yeah, I've never said that. I'm offended by catcalling.
Yes,
Depends what context.
I'm offended and complimented at the same time, but the offense happens, so yes. I don't think women should get VIP treatment at nightclubs and bars just for being women. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But we'll come back to that one if we have to. I think police brutality and its correlation with race is a feminist issue. I thought feminism was about equality between the sexes, not racial
I'm
issues.
I'm actually gonna tick that because they all have an evil, fucking, malevolent alliance to each other. So
Okay, yeah. Well,
I think we should.
Then again, what's the correlation with race and police brutality again? I mean, George Floyd just happened,
well,
but
they're basically going to argue that the same systemic oppression that comes from systematic racism is the same mechanism that also upholds a kind of societal patriarchy.
The only issue is in the States that, for example, white people per the amount, if you take into consideration the amount of crime that they commit racially, and then look at the amount of people who were killed, unknown people killed by police, it's actually not a racist thing.
And
but
we also know that 13 do 50, but we need to carry on. I think we should stop promoting models as the ideal body type. No, I disagree with that. I think
it depends which model. Is it the anorexic one or not? But I'm not going to take it because I don't exactly know what they mean.
I think we should stop photoshopping women's bodies in the media. Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree with, yes.
Because that's dishonest, right? Bossy. I have called a woman bossy. I've called a man bossy.
Exactly. Women and men can be bossy.
Yeah.
I think companies should offer more child-friendly time and programs to women I think they should offer more to women and men. I get that there's economical consequences to that, but I think giving the next generation a good platform with both parents to step off of is a very important thing. So I'm going to tick that.
I'm going to take that as well. We incentivize women to work from home and we incentivize men to look at careers. I believe that a woman should be offered the same opportunities for promotion.
I don't know if I completely agree with you on that one, but okay. Anyway, yeah, let's keep going.
Full incentivization of women to never work. I believe that a woman should be offered the same opportunities for promotion as her male co-workers. The same opportunities for promotion. Okay, so if they're about to be promoted in status and they're doing the exact same job, yeah, I guess so.
Well, I'm not going to tick it because I don't think it should depend on your sex at all. I think it should depend on how good you are at the job. And if you're a woman and you're better at the job, then you should get offered the promotion. If you're a man and you're better at the job, you should get offered the promotion. I don't think gender should have anything to do with it, so I'm not going to take it.
Yeah.
If I believe that if a woman wants to pay on a date,
I was going to tick that, giving them the benefit of the doubt, but I realize I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt because I know exactly what they mean. I'm trying to answer the question with how I know they mean the questions. And I think you should go back and make sure that you're doing the same so we can get an accurate response.
No, I'm giving them benefit of the doubt most of the time because I'm a moderate, so I'm going to tend to stick.
Fucking centrist.
I believe that if a woman wants to pay on a date, her date should let her.
No, I won't.
Because I think if she insists, I'll let her pay. I would, as the man, feel obligated to pay, but if she wants to pay, she can pay. I got no problem with that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe, because I've been in a position where I've, where my date was insisting, and I was like, okay, cool. So the thing is that I would be hypocritical not to, but on principle, just on principle, I don't know.
Well,
I'm
look,
not a
on
fan.
principle, I'd like to pay for it, but not to oppress her. But if I asked her to go out and it was my arrangement, then I feel that I should because I was the one who made
Yeah,
who made the thing. But if she wants to pay, she can pay. I don't mind that much. I believe that
sure.
women should have
Let me.
easy access to birth control. Yes, this is one I'm going to
Yes,
tick because
yes.
fucking hell. Um, I believe that in a
But wait,
relationship,
hold on, hold on, hold
yeah.
on, hold on. Let's backtrack. Let's backtrack. Let's backtrack. The thing is, why would you need birth control when you are only having sex with your husband that you have settled down with?
No, but
Did you ever
you don't
consider
always have
that?
a husband, bro. So
But you
it's like,
could.
no,
But you could.
and you wouldn't want, but and even if you have a husband, if you don't want kids, then what?
Well, then you just sex is only for procreation. The idea is that what you do is there's nothing romantic about it. You poke a hole in the sheet, Mormon style. You read a verse, you stick
What
it
the
in, you get
fuck?
it over, and then you pull the sheet
What the
over
fuck,
so
Tarquin?
that
Please tell me you're
it's
joking, buddy.
absolutely pure. No, it's pure impregnation. There needs to be nothing,
Nothing but
nothing
impregnation,
degenerate about it.
or the
Exactly.
opposite. You become a Catholic rabbit where you don't wear birth control and you have 17 kids. Anyway, next question. I believe that in a relationship, the domestic duties should be shared. Well, I think it depends on who does what, but I mean, generally speaking, sure. I don't think in today's
What do they
society,
mean?
generally
What do they mean
speaking,
by what do they mean by
domestic
domestic
duties is like
duties?
washing dishes, cooking food. It's like, yeah, I think we should share it. Like, even if I work most of the time and she's at home most of the time, I still think I'd like to cook some of the time because it's something I enjoy, you know. So I would say, yeah, sure, I don't mind. I think it's a good thing.
Okay.
Also, even if you're
Uh,
in a marriage and you're in a marriage situation, sometimes, especially say if your wife is pregnant, it can be really helpful for you to do the dishes and give her a little bit of a break sometimes, even if you've had a hard day at work. I just think it's a nice thing to do. So I think sure.
I think that
I'm
a
gonna
couple
take it,
should
yeah.
have equal responsibilities over the aesthetic of cleanliness in their home. What the fuck does that mean? I think that a
I
couple
don't
should
take
have
that.
equal responsibility. Oh,
So
um,
you should for making the house look nice, Tarquin.
well, I certainly like, I don't know what equal responsibility, because that implies that you've agreed upon an aesthetic.
Yeah.
I
Here's
don't
the thing.
understand.
I'm going to give a basic answer so we can keep going, and then you can tell me if you agree.
Yeah.
I don't agree, not because of cleanliness, because I think you should keep yourself fucking clean, but aesthetic, yes, because some people are more into decorating a home than other people. If I have a girlfriend, or say me, if I like to decorate the house and put ornaments everywhere and I enjoy doing that sort of thing, that doesn't mean my spouse who might not enjoy doing it has to do it too. So
Hmm.
I'm not gonna tick the box. Um,
I'm gonna be, yeah, well, I mean,
are you gonna
in
be
my
work
case,
a
it's just
ticket?
gonna, no, I'm actually gonna, it's gonna be a dungeon. There's just gonna be ruins hanging up decorative barbells on the fucking wall along with
BDSN.
dead, yeah, along with dead animals. I believe
I
that men should be encouraged to be involved and make choices in the wedding planning process.
I mean,
Well, I
if they
certainly
want
want to.
to, but like,
Well, like, I mean, I'm actually going to tick this because, firstly, I want to know where, like, the wedding planning process. Hell yeah, I want to fucking make sure I know where I'm getting married. I
yeah,
want to make sure I
exactly.
know
So
I want to make sure I
I'll
know
take
which
it
fucking
too,
cunts rock up.
just because I'd like to be involved with my wedding planning process, but I don't think it should be a
Yeah,
requirement if the guy doesn't want to be involved, you know. But
yeah.
generally
But
speaking, I think
what they actually mean is like, are you going to be helping with fucking arranging the flowers and designing the cake? In which case, they can fuck off.
yeah. And anyway, okay,
Um,
okay. I
I
believe
believe
that
that.
men and women have the same emotional strength. No, 100% not. Um,
I don't even. It's just such a dumb question because
yeah.
humans and like you can't even define emotional strength.
Yeah, exactly. If
I
you
do
want to
not
say
think.
resilience, that's a different thing. But yeah, um,
I do not think that it is the responsibility of a man to protect a woman physically. I completely disagree with that. I
yeah,
completely disagree with that. Men are biologically we are biologically designed for violence, and the only people.
God, you're giving them evidence here, bro.
We are biologically designed for violence that is ultimately being guided by morality with the overall long-term sexual selection of females. Now, if women want to, through this new interesting cultural shift that they've chosen, breed in a generation of completely.
And come back to the other ones, buddy.
No. But I have to speak about this while it's off the top of my head.
Okay.
If they want to breed in a generation of low bone density, fucking absolutely limp-wristed, pathetic males, which we know exactly what they're talking about. Because the thing is that they don't actually want to walk down the fucking dark alley with those dudes. They don't. They say that they like them. They don't want it. Yeah. Anyway.
Come get you. Yeah. Fucking.
Okay. Let me just. I
want a ticket because I want a ticket fundamentally because I think my principles say that it's important for a man to protect a woman if he says she's in danger. Do I think that it should be legally binding? No. I think it should still be the guy's choice if he wants to be nice or not. But I think that as a principle, it's a good thing. So I'm not going to tick it. Anyway,
I believe. Let's just read just the question.
Yeah.
Not even know if we, and then just say if we say yes or no, and then we move on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay. I believe that men and women should be equally encouraged to express their emotions.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, yes. I have never asked a woman why she does not have children.
I have.
No, I have. I would be equally excited to have a son or a daughter. Yeah,
yes.
I'd be equally excited to have a son or a daughter. However, okay. I think American workplace culture. Oh fuck! Of course, it has to be centered around America.
Let's just talk about South Africa. Okay.
Yeah, I believe that South African workplace culture is often not structured in a way that is helpful or encouraging to women succeeding.
Fuck you. We have quotas, so that's probably about as encouraging as you can get.
Yeah. I think women have a responsibility to help encourage other women to pursue their goals.
No, you don't have a responsibility. If you want to do it, you can be nice. But yeah, you don't have a responsibility.
Other good women to pursue good roles. I think women are equally capable to men to be the president of the United States.
Well, president of South Africa. I mean, if she's able to do the election and win the presidency, then 100% yes. So I'm gonna tick it. Because fucking.
I think that for the next 100 years, we should only have female leaders, considering this
equality of outcomes.
Exactly. I believe that women have no responsibility to make a conscious effort to always be friendly and polite.
You don't have a responsibility, but if you want to succeed in life, you'll probably have to be friendly and polite some of the time. So I'm not gonna tick it.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm gonna tick it. You don't have a responsibility. Yeah. That doesn't mean anything's going to go your way, though.
I have never criticized a woman for not wearing makeup or wearing too much makeup. Well, no, I haven't. Yeah, I don't know about criticized, but I will point it out if you look like a geisha doll every time you fucking go to the gym. Like, it's a little bit excessive.
Yeah, okay. I would say I haven't criticized either, but I've marked on it. So yeah, okay. I believe a woman is a woman if that's what she calls herself, regardless of her physical attributes and makeup. No.
Well, what they mean by physical attributes is regardless of if she has a dick, then we're gonna focus on her. So yeah.
Guys, I've got no problem. Here's the thing with trans people: if it's a man who says he's a woman and wants me to call him by a female pronoun, I actually would do it. Because genuinely speaking, it really doesn't affect my life that much, and I don't much care. So I would call them by that. But I'm not going to say that it's a biological woman, because it's not. It's a man who transitioned to a woman. It's a trans man. It is not. It's a trans woman. It is not a woman. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what do you want to show me my results quickly?
Show me my results.
20 out of 50. What did you get, buddy?
I got 15 out of 50.
Damn, I'm more woke than you.
Oh, no, you checked off 15 out of 50. So, what is, I mean, but hold on, I want like a fucking, like, I want like a percentage. I want something cool. I don't want just 15 out of 50 because that's so retarded. Because I knew exactly what it was going in. I want like some whole long explanation as to why I'm a chauvinist dick.
No, we have another quiz for that. Maybe we'll do that next time. Okay? Well, it says to me you are pretty woke, and you definitely try and stay informed about what's going on in the world of feminism and how you can make it better. Fucking hell.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
mean,
I'm woke. What would you say,
I,
Tarquin? Would you say I'm pretty
well,
woke?
I got the exact same thing, and it's so retarded because like if you got 15 out of 50 on a test, like that's the thing is that these people are so fucking limp-dicked and limp-wristed about everything that they
I can't
literally give
defend
you,
myself
they
to fail.
literally, yeah, exactly, they literally give you a participation trophy, even if you're a fucking misogynist.
It says you're a nice person.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Like even if
Dude, I
you're a
got one
straight
thing
up
I quickly want to
misogynist,
come back
yeah,
to before we wrap it up, if that's okay with you.
yeah, for sure.
Uh, okay, and it was the one I believe that where's the clothes one? The clothes
Uh,
one.
oh fuck.
What?
I'm trying to find it as well.
I believe that women should be able to dress however they want without it dictating how they are treated by society. Okay, I want to say something quick on that.
Yeah.
I would never, ever, 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 ever say that if a girl wears a short dress that it was okay for her to get raped. That is the stupidest fucking thing to say. And if you say something like
It's
that,
stupid.
you should have your dick chopped off and we should castrate you.
I agree.
Okay? So I am not saying that. I would never say
Yeah.
that. That is such a stupid thing to say. What
Yes.
I am going to say is that if you dress up in those clothes, and this isn't even a sexual thing, and
Mm.
people don't see you as being professional, that is not them. That is because of how you dressed. If you pitch up, say, to work in a super short skirt with everything showing, and Afrikaans is a great saying, you can alipat in Paraguay and see.
Mm.
But with everything showing and your boobs hanging out, don't expect to be treated professionally because you are not dressed professionally.
Yes.
And
I
so
fully agree.
I'm not even going to make it a sexual thing because just because
Yeah.
you're dressed with exposing thing, it doesn't mean a guy can catcall you or sexually assault you or it does not mean that at all. So I'm not even going to make it a sexual thing.
Yeah.
I'm just talking strictly professionally. Or if you show up that way professionally, don't expect people to treat you professionally, and don't expect people to lay responsibility upon you or acknowledge you as someone who is capable of acting in that business because you're clearly not presenting yourself that way.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But you know what exactly like sexuality aside, if you wear anything in a professional setting, whether it's a work protocol that isn't the work protocol, you will
Yeah.
get judged. If I, you know, if I work a desk job and I fucking walk to work as fucking Otto von Bismarck, it doesn't fucking matter like what people think. They
Yeah.
will fundamentally see that I'm being not professional. And so
Well,
it's
think about
like,
it this way. If I work at a Jewish synagogue and I
oh,
go to work dressed up as Adolf Hitler,
yeah,
do I
it's not
expect
professional.
them do I expect them to treat me okay?
No,
Right. No, because the first argument's going to be, yeah, but the only reason you have to look a certain way is because of the patriarchy. It's like, yes and no. Okay? Depends what you want to say the patriarchy is. But there is a
yeah,
certain social agreement that you dress certain ways for certain things.
mm,
Okay? And you are not gonna, you cannot, and you cannot be allowed to make it wrong for people to have judgments about you because of what you wear. That's not an okay thing to do.
for sure, for sure. Look, but what I will say is that I definitely, you know, I saw some amazing footage of fucking London on the colorized footage of London from like the 1900s, early 1900s, and I must say, while I certainly love wearing my leather jackets and my Iron Maiden t-shirts, there is something about me that longs for a time when society was actually overall, just society in general was far more professional. there is something about that which I really enjoy. Now,
Well, then
in
again,
the
there's
modern
something about that
setting,
I don't like. For example, that women had to get into corsets that did all sorts of terrible things to their bodies. But if that's just one of
well, I mean, not really in the. It depends which era.
yeah.
But so it completely depends which era. But I would say at the turn of the at the turn, in like 1910s, prior to the First World War,
Oh
women
yeah, no,
didn't
no, no,
have to
totally,
always
totally.
wear
Yeah, that's cool.
ridiculously fucking tight
It
corsets.
was it
That's a
was a
good
very
50 years ago.
professional existence. Work
Yes,
was when you stepped out of the house, essentially, and there is
but
something to be said for that being a good thing.
yeah, and what everyone wore was overall just fucking yeah. I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, so yeah, look, I would say 15 out of 50. That is like, I mean,
That's pretty good, dude.
Where's my percentage calculator? What is?
Talk when it's 30%.
Oh, of course, it's
You
30%.
don't have. Okay, you see, now you've given them ammunition, so now you're a stupid alt-right sympathizer.
Dude, I didn't even. Here's the thing. I fucking opened my new tab. I'm so used to just letting technology solve everything for me. I just opened my next tab and I was already just looking for, fucking percentage calculator. You don't even do it anymore. But yeah, I'm 30% a feminist. That's like, that's actually kind of high. That's kind of
Yeah, I'm
high.
surprised.
What did you get? Again, you got 25, right?
23, so I'm 46% a feminist.
You're
Well,
like
here's the
nearly
only thing.
half a
I don't
feminist.
think they completely understand what pretty woke means, because if I got 65, 70, that would constitute pretty woke. But I don't think you can get anything less than pretty woke on this quiz. Let's check. Let's see what happens if you get 0 out of 50. I want to see that.
I wanna untick a few things.
0 out of 50. Okay, hang on. Let's see. If you get 0 out of 50, you know your fair share about women's rights and suffrage, but hey, it never hurts to learn a little more. If you check 0 out of 50, that's what you get.
You literally get
Which
nothing.
means you know your
Oh,
fair share
Jesus.
about women's rights and suffrage.
Dude, you fucking know fuck all. Oh my god.
Well, no, it's not
Yeah,
that you know fuck all. It's just that you don't agree with the idea that everything we live in is constructed out of a power dynamic.
yeah, of course. Well, I mean, it is. What was I gonna say? I forgot completely what I was gonna say. Fucking. Yeah, no, my brain left me, dude. You made me do a fucking feminist test at 20 to 11. I'm definitely fucking not quite there. Oh, well, what I was gonna say is it is just completely that fucking participation trophy mentality. They don't even have the balls to say like, you misogynistic cock. You know what I mean? Just exactly what they want to say right at the end. They don't even have the audacity
They
to
don't
do
even have the
that.
balls to call you a misogynist.
Yeah, exactly. They're just gonna fucking sub out some other bullshit instead. But anyway, it was a good test. I enjoyed it.
Anyway, it was funny. It was interesting, I think. Well, I don't know if anyone's gonna watch this video, but if anyone does, thank you for watching.
We'll upload it. It'll good. Yeah. The
I
next test should
appreciate
be
that you
really
took the time to watch this video. And if you enjoyed
yeah,
this and you want to see more of this sort of stuff, then like and subscribe. And check out some of our fitness stuff too, because we don't only talk about this sort of shit.
dude. The next test I'm running you through, and I took it, and I think you took it as well. It's the fucking I think it's actually like a Harvard test, and it's like compared to the average person, how racist are you basically?
Oh gosh.
And I fucking yeah, it's a legit test, but this one's far more academic, and you go
Uh,
through all these things,
do
and
they
it's
still
like
ask
it's
you leading
basically
questions that don't actually mean anything or not?
no, well, it's a little bit better phrased, but it's still kind of influenced. But they give you like to all the degrees and to all the types and to which areas you are basically more or less racist than the average person.
Oh god. Okay. Well, anyway.
We'll do that,
Thank
yeah.
you for watching,
Let's
guys.
see
If
how
you're
that
really
goes.
curious to how racist are you, test, then like and subscribe. And we'll see
Yeah.
you guys next time.
All right.
Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.